move this a little. I feel like a stand-up comic. So anything I've ever been in here was a stand-up comedy gig. I've never done stand-up. I feel a little bit. So if you start laughing, I'm not sure if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah, excuse me if I read before my folks. I don't have a presentation. I feel a little bit old media and new media. And after the week I've had, I feel a bit more old than new. I work for Channel 4 as my day job, which is decidedly, I guess, old media. But I also run a thing called The Ferret. I don't know how many of you know, the www.theferret.scot. And we are a, what we are really is, what we're not, like one of the early guys said, we're not a news website. And I guess I'd agree with the previous speakers that the journalism is on its arse, but I must say I do not think that the only, well, I fear maybe that the only content, if the only content we have is user-generated content, I do think we're probably going to be in some problems as a democracy. Much as I enjoy reading people's blogs and whatnot, and what's a good place to eat, and what's, you know, who's a good band, I'm not quite sure that bloggers are really able to hold power to account, and you know, they can be helped to do it. I'm not saying they can. I think we're really trying to work with communities, but the nuts and bolts of what we are is we're a cooperative, so it means that we're owned by everyone who's a subscriber, everyone who's a member of our cooperative, which is about almost 200 people at the moment who pay anything between, I think, £3 a month, and one or two people pay a lot more than that, but people can pay what they want over up to £3 a month, over £3 a month. And where we came from was, we're kind of basically started off as a group of journalists, reasonably experienced journalists, mainly freelance. I was freelance for years. And we were always talking about this thing that people are talking more and more about, which is the crisis of the media in general, and particularly in Scotland, where, you know, papers are getting smaller, staff are getting laid off. It's bad news recently as well, as people saw in the Herald and the Scotsman. And one of the first things to go is investigative journalism, because it costs money. You know, if you're going to sit down and research a story thoroughly, it takes a lot of time and money, and it's one of the things a lot of newspapers don't have. So we were kind of thinking, well, what can we do? You know, is there a way to kind of think about this in a new way? And what we decided was that it might be an opportunity to do something new, to do something different. And I think what we are trying to do is actually a mix of old and new. We're very much traditional investigative journalists, traditional journalists who believe in getting a story, telling the story well, telling all sides of the story, researching thoroughly. All of our stories are very, very thorough, I think it's fair to say. But at the same time, we also think that it's important to use the media, to use the internet and the opportunities afforded to you by the internet, because I think, particularly in Scotland, I think newspapers and media organisations have been really on the back foot. Very few newspapers use much video content, don't even use that many photos, and what they certainly don't do is put up documents, which is what we do. Every time we publish a story, we provide all the documents to go with it. So this is the most recent story we had. And what we do as well is we kind of don't publish. We don't say we're going to publish every day. We don't say we're going to publish every week. We just publish when the story is ready, when there's a good story ready. Well, to peel it back a little bit, we sat for quite a long time thinking about, you know, what are we going to do? Everyone's talking about journalism doesn't pay anymore. What do you do? And, you know, quite a few journalists I know were kind of saying, well, you know, people need to pay for journalism, but that's probably true. But it's also important that people provide journalism that people want to pay for. You know, just because newspapers don't pay the way they used to anymore isn't a good enough reason to expect people to pay. You have to offer people something that's new and vibrant and speaks to what they want. And what we kind of believe is that, you know, lots of people aren't interested in investigative journalism. That's fair enough, but some people are, and those people that are, I think, are really interested in actually getting involved, being involved in a project that they believe in. So how the Ferret decided to kind of operate was to set up as a cooperative. We got a small grant. We won a new media award from the Co-op UK Cooperative Bank, who've gone through a few dodgy patches themselves in the wake of that, but that's a different story. And so we got a small grant. We decided we'd form a cooperative. And it was interesting because what we decided we'd do was, spent a long time thinking about how do you do this? How do you go from nothing to something? How do you go from not existing at all with no funding to being an actual entity? And so what we decided was, rather than launch as a full thing, we'd actually just try and crowdfund a single investigation. And we left it for quite a while because we felt like the referendum wasn't the time for us to launch. It felt like a time for opinion and conversation, you know, that kind of debate. We're much more analytical, so we decided we'd wait until after the referendum. And we decided we'd ask all the people who subscribed to the site, because we'd already created a site and we're populating with our own stories that have appeared elsewhere. So we gave people an opportunity to vote for 3 stories and which story they would want us to crowdfund. So we had, and the one that won was fracking. So we made a little video and put up a crowdfunder and asked, you know, for support. And I think this is the opportunity, this is the moment when I think our old media contacts helped as well, because all of us are experienced. I'm leaving after this to go to the BBC to be on the telly. I do that kind of stuff. We do that kind of thing. It's how we survive. But we managed to get quite a bit of publicity. We got the Guardian to run a story. We got the BBC interested, and lo and behold, I think we asked for £3,500. We almost got 10,000, which was great. It was really good support for what we were trying to do. And so what we decided then was we'd broaden out a little bit. We were using the money to fund 2 investigations. We did a big fracking investigation. I think involved maybe 10 or 11 different stories from all sorts of angles. Big long piece, meeting people who are resisting fracking with videos, a couple of really investigative pieces, a couple of breaking stories. We've got a government advisor who's a Scottish government advisor who's now against fracking in Scotland, which is a new story. So really trying to burrow into stories, and that's what I think is really important for what we're trying to do, is to try and get down into stories and tell them in new ways, tell them in quite interesting, exciting ways. And so I guess, yeah, so we did that in the summer. We managed to kind of move off from that. And since then, we've just been kind of building the site. We put a big premium on, and we've noticed this ourselves as well, when we put exclusive stories up, because sometimes we'll also put stories that we've done for somewhere else on the site, because we've got a core group of about 7 of us who are the editorial team, and then a kind of a wider support group of maybe another 15, and then beyond that there's our subscribers and our members. We have a mailing list of about 500. But when we do new original content that's exclusive, it does pick up traction, which is really, really good for us, and often gets picked up in the newspapers. And what we're really trying to do is set the agenda. So just before Christmas, I did a story about Amazon. I spent some time out in Amazon, and I also submitted a few FOIs about government support for Amazon. And it was really nice in the new year to see that story. I'm not saying it was just because of what we were doing, but that story appeared back on the agenda with, you know, voluntary groups and political parties trying to put pressure on Amazon, and our stories referred to, I think it was referred to one of the committees. And that's what we're trying to do, is to make sure that our stories, when they appear, are strong and are set in the agenda. And what's been really exciting about the Ferret is the opportunity to actually use, as well as to engage with people, and is to use the internet as well in new ways. So for the next investigation we do, again, we're going to go out to people, we're going to offer them an opportunity to vote on what story they want to see investigated. And since we launched, we've also recruited a new 2 new members, a readers member, so she's able to liaise with all our readers to see that we're making sure that we're kind of representing them. We've also got a really robust complaints procedure. And we've just joined Impress, which is a new regulator. There's a series in the wake of the Leveson inquiry, there's a series of different regulators. So we're one of the first organisations to join this new kind of Leveson approved Impress. And what we're trying to do with that as well is to reach out to new audiences and to kind of make sure that what we're trying to be is very much fully regulated, and to try and say there's a different way of telling stories, and there's a much more, I think we're probably kind of seen as quite ethical. How we work is we pay everybody, not the editorial team, we're not paid, but we pay for the stories. We pay £110 a day, which sounds really communist. It's the average industrial wage, so that's broken down pro rata per day. So that's what we pay. But we do think it is important to pay for journalism, to pay for quality journalism, because it's the only way it gets done. And I think what's happening in the media in Scotland in general shows that there is a need for storytelling like this. And we've been really touched at how, you know, we've got over 4,000 followers on Twitter. I think we've probably something similar on Facebook. Our most popular story is something like 15,000 shares. Rob was on Lithuanian radio talking about it. So, you know, it's got a weird outreach, but it does have what's been really interesting is how far it's spread. But then the other thing for us is the challenges, because we're journalists. And journalists are generally, actually surprisingly, not very good at blowing their own trumpet, and not very good at thinking long term in terms of things like funding, structures, you know, how businesses work. All this isn't what we're good at. We're good at stories. So that's where we're at the moment, is trying to try and figure out where the next phase for us is. So we've over 200 subscribers. We recently were given another grant of £5,000 to fund some more stories. We're continually kind of working with other organisations to try and bring more stories forward. So, and I'd love to see us in the future. You know, I think there's a real need for a project like the Ferret, a project that's able to really say, look, we're going to try and hold government to account. We're going to really delve into some of these subjects, because, you know, it's these things. There's a lot of time it takes to kind of really, really get to the bottom of a story. It takes a lot of investigation. You know, it takes a lot of investigation. It takes a lot of man hours. And what we're trying to say is maybe try and build a new model for doing this. So yeah, that's what we're hoping to do. I think there's a lot of value in it. And the question, you know, I think it's been 6 months, and oh yeah, sorry, before I forget, we also got nominated for a British Press Awards Online Journalism Prize last year, which is really nice after 6 months. So we've only been going since the summer, so it's been really positive kind of 6 months. So yeah, so this is my old meets new media. That's the end.